Hey guys, Sri Lanka Sammy, retired with mom and dad. Thanks for joining us today. We are going to talk about why you should get out of the West. Why did I get out of the West? Why did my family get out of the West? Why are we here in Sri Lanka? There's many reasons to it. So join me. We'll be back in 1 second. So welcome to the patio. I thought I would do a vlog from here on a beautiful Thursday morning, 8 o'clock in the morning, and the sun is already up. I'm gonna get my vitamin D today, talking to you guys today from the patio. It is election day in Sri Lanka. Parliamentary elections are happening. Mom and dad just got back from a voting. I didn't vote because my district is heavily in one party, so voting really wouldn't make a difference. I know they say every vote counts, but it is so heavily skewed towards one party that any vote I make wouldn't make a difference, and I was busy today anyway with classes. So I voted in the presidential election. We're all good at that. Excuse me. So, but I'm not here about politics. I don't really care. You know, even the politics in America doesn't really, or Canada doesn't really, I care. Beautiful wind chimes. Actually, the election in America has helped me. Interest rates have come down in the US. That's not a result of the election, but my crypto is up. The Sri Lankan stock market is up. So because Sri Lanka is a net importer, any future tariffs that may or may not occur wouldn't affect us. And anyway, any of our exports are not competitive with the US or anywhere else because we export things that nobody has. Tea, cinnamon, textiles, rubber, coconut, foodstuffs. Those are things that are never tariffed really because it's exclusive to Sri Lanka. So, I mean, I'm not going to get into the politics of economics or what have you. I'm going to do a video about the economy later on and the stock market and investments and things like that. So stay tuned for that. So thanks again for joining. I'm Sri Lankan Sammy. Welcome to the channel and the Sri Lankan Sammy family. Please comment below. I really, really want comments. If you comment, I will reply. My channel is small enough that I have the time to reply to each and every one of your comments. So if you like what I'm doing and you want to see something or you have a question, comment below, or better yet, join me on the live stream every Sunday morning, 7, 8, 9 a.m. Sri Lankan time. Every Sunday morning I'm going to do a live stream about an hour long. Join me. Why don't you ask me questions there? And if you really want to, you can join the live stream live. Like, you can join via video or audio if you wish, and we can have a conversation. Something else that is new to the channel is I provide life coaching. Click the link down below, buy me a coconut, and go to the members area, and you can actually purchase my time. And I can do like a life coaching with you, answer any questions you have, look at what you're doing, and offer my advice. Now, I'm not an expert, but I have made mistakes. So maybe you can learn from my mistakes. So instead of spending your time watching all of my videos and, you know, hours and hours and hours, maybe I can offer some sage advice, and, you know, you can gather as much information as possible to help you in your life to get where I am today. I don't know. So I've already had a few people purchase that, and they've liked it. So I have one person who wanted me to give them some advice, and then when I said, you know, I have this service, they said, oh, you want me to pay for it? And I'm like, well, you know, it is my time. I'm taking my time to make the videos, which are monetized, by the way. If you watch an ad all the way through, it helps the channel. Thank you very much. But I'm taking my time, but I'm getting compensated for that. The channel's monetized. I'm happy to answer a few questions in the comments. That's not a problem. But if I'm going to take my time to sit with you and talk to you, when all the information is available on my channel, then you gotta justify that by that's my time. I'm taking my time to help you when you could take your time and just watch all my videos because the answers are all there. So sorry if that's coming off as capitalist, but that's what we do here. So why should you get out of the West? Specifically for that, it's overly capitalist. It's taking advantage of you. Governments are so busy pandering to their constituents and the isolated groups. I'm not blaming anyone or any one religion or one ethnic group, but you get a lot of immigrants, you get a lot of refugees, you get a lot of people coming into an area and they want to make changes. And they rally their groups together because they're a tight community, because they're new. If you're born in a country, you don't need a community. You have history, you have family, you have roots. If you're coming into a community, you need that connection. So you stick to your temple, your church, or whatever, and your community center, and that community grows over time, and then they become a powerful force in the politics. So government policies will follow the trend of the biggest voting bloc. Just look at what's happening in Canada. Look at what's happening in Western Europe. Look at what's happening in Korea. A lot of people don't realize it. Korea does not have a public discrimination law. There's a government one. But in public, I can legally discriminate against you for any reason whatsoever. Now, some of you may know I used to run a nightclub in Korea, and we could discriminate based on age, ethnic, anything. There were certain people we didn't want inside the club, and I would just make up an excuse. And they say, well, you can't do that. I say, yes, I can. I can restrict anyone at any time for any reason. There's no discrimination law. Although I didn't phrase it like that, but there are certain clubs that blatantly say no foreigners because it's a customer issue. The customers inside a Korean club are Korean. And the business decision is that there's more money to be made from Koreans than is for the one or two foreigners that want to come in. And the culture is different, social culture. So if a Korean feels uncomfortable, they're not going to come back the next time. So now, and they spread the word, and now the business is out of business just because of one or two foreigners. It's not a good business decision. So Korea has no discrimination law. Also, clubs will say no one over the age of 30. That's a business decision. They say no seniors, no children. Perfectly illegal to do that. Perfectly legal to do that. So, the reason why they don't have a discrimination law is because every time they try to do one, the very powerful religious groups will get together and say no. And they're a huge voting bloc. The reason they don't want the discrimination law is not for that, but because if there is a no discrimination law, then they will have to accept alternative lifestyles, which they don't want to do. These religious groups, they don't want to do that. So that's the reason why. So why do you want to get out of the West and come to a developing nation? Well, I say this, for all the freedoms that you have in the West, how many have you used? Let me ask you this. Please answer this. I really want an answer. When was the last time you went out and exercised your freedom of speech? Now, let me explain to you what freedom of speech is. It doesn't mean you can come to my house and say anything you want. I can tell you to shut up and get out of my house, because that's private property. Freedom of speech is the government cannot infringe on your freedom to say whatever you want. It cannot censor you, cannot stop you from a public forum. Private property, yes. Public, no. And you don't have freedom of speech in my house. It's government cannot infringe. Okay, so remember that. So when was the last time you exercised your freedom of speech? Oh, I can say whatever I want, whenever I want. Yeah, saying something on the street in public isn't freedom of speech. It is, but it isn't exercising. When was the last time you went to a protest? So if you say never, well then if I took away your freedom of speech, would your life change? Absolutely not. Let me tell you this. Voting, elections, blah, blah, blah. I was an ardent voter. Right from the time I was 17, approaching 18, I started voting. I even convinced my ex-wife at the time. A few hours before the voting closed, I said, go vote. I don't care who you vote for, but vote. And I explained the importance of voting. But after I left Canada, I decided voting doesn't make any sense anymore because governments are corrupt. They don't listen to the people after they get into power. The government only listens to the people during the election process and then right before the election process. Okay, so they don't care about anything in the middle. And the reality is because the system is broken. The Titanic is sinking. Okay, well, let's change the captain. Okay, well, the Titanic is still sinking. Well, because the Titanic is broken. Changing the captain doesn't fix the ship. Democracy is corrupt and broken. The system itself is broken. So changing the leader doesn't help. So let's look back. Now, I have been an adult for 38 years. I've been allowed to vote. And I can technically vote in 3 countries, Canada, Korea, and Sri Lanka. Think about this, in your life as an adult, has it changed? Or you can say, the price of things have gone up and whatever, but that's throughout history. Okay, prices will always go up. Prices will always change. The government doesn't control prices. If the government did, they'd make everything free, but that's called socialism or communism, right? If the government had that power, they would make everything free. But why do we blame the government when prices go up? Right? Well, I'm sugarcoating everything. Yes, the government can influence and things like that, but you take from one side, you got to give to the other. You give to the other, you got to take from the other side. It's a seesaw. It's a balancing act. You're never going to make everyone happy because you got to take from one to give to the other. There's only so much money, right? And if they print new money, then everyone's money is not worth anything, which is what happened in Canada. So, let me ask you this question. Please answer this, okay, in the comments. Has your life changed? You get up in the morning, you eat, you wash, you go to work, you have lunch, you come home, you have dinner, entertainment, go back to sleep. You do that every day. You do that every single day, and you've been doing it for the last 30 years. So you tell me, every time you vote for someone, has anything changed in your life? Absolutely not. So that's why I stopped voting or even caring about politics, because it really doesn't make any difference at the end of the day. One government comes in and tears apart everything the previous government did, which is a waste of my tax dollars. And then they spend the next 4 years spending my money trying to get elected. And then the new guy comes in and tears apart everything that guy did, which is my tax dollars. So it's a complete waste of money. I couldn't care about your politics. I really couldn't care. But I like the ideas of what's being touted in the United States, reducing the size of government, reducing the overreach, smaller government. I prefer a monarchy because you cannot change a society in 4 years. It takes a generation to change a society. You look at places like that have kings that are running the country. They have to be benevolent. They have to be kind. They have to be thinking for the people. And they've changed the country for the better. Yeah, maybe they don't have all the rights we do, but again, I'm saying, what are those rights? What do they get you? Okay. I would give up a few of my rights to be richer. What does the government teach you? They don't teach you how to be rich. They don't teach you finance. They don't teach you economy. They don't teach you investing. They don't teach you saving. They teach you the hypotenuse is the sum of the three sides, and A squared plus B squared equals C squared, and the mitochondria is the powerhouse of the cells. When am I ever going to use that crap? But if you learned how to invest your money, how to not circumvent, but how to use tax loopholes. Rich people know that. Why do they only teach that at the Ivy League schools? Because only rich people can afford the Ivy League schools. Why are tax lawyers only used by rich? Because they're the only ones who can afford it. Okay. I tell this to people, and here's this very simple example. In Korea, it's 50% inheritance tax. Okay. In most countries, it's a lot of inheritance tax. Transfer of wealth is very important. So how do you transfer wealth? Well, if you have kids, you start a company. Okay? Start a company with your own money. Now you're an investor. But you have other savings too. And this company is a company that tests and evaluates kids' products. So this company now has money from your private account, but the company buys baby products, baby food, diapers, cribs, car seats, clothes, whatever, for you to test. Now it goes against the company. It doesn't go against your private account, it goes against the company's corporate account. Hey guys, Sri Lankan Sammy, thanks for joining. I want to take a quick moment and talk to you about the channel. I really appreciate you taking the time to support the channel, clicking like, sharing, and commenting, but I need to ask you for a little bit of help and helping me get the channel up and running a little bit better. Please click the link down below if you want to support the channel and buy me a coconut. What I will do is I will match the dollars and I will go out and buy fresh fruit and vegetables from local farmers on the roadside. You guys have seen me do that before. I'll continue doing that by supporting the local economy. Passively, if you would like to, you can just watch a commercial. I am monetized, so if you watch an ad all the way through, a couple, that would really help the channel. And even more so, click the link of the ad and let it pop up on your computer. Leave it open for a few minutes. That would really help the channel passively. And one last thing, if you could please just put a comment, an emoji, one word saying hello, saying hi, Merry Christmas, Happy New Year, Happy Holidays, Happy Vesak, Happy Poya, whatever it is, whenever it is, I truly appreciate it. Sri Lankan Sammy, loving you all. We'll see you all on the other side. So the camera got a little overheated, so I had to move it into the shade, and I gotta figure out why it overheats like this. I guess it's because the sun is shining directly on it. It is sunny, and I'm squinting, so I apologize for that. So, talking about saving like wealth transfer, so your company is now buying the kids' products. So this company is spending money. Now you write these reports for these products, but oh no, government, I can't sell this stuff. I can't sell it. Nobody's buying it. So your company is losing money, but you're making money on your other investments. The company's not losing money. You're spending the money that you would have spent normally to buy your kids the stuff that they need. But it's now a taxable deduction against your profits of your pension, your savings account, your stock account. Your company's a front for your expenses. Perfectly, I'm not going to say it's legal, but that's what the rich people do. You think Elon Musk has $1 billion in his bank account? He doesn't have any money. He started a company that leases his house, his clothes, his cars, his furniture, everything. He has no cash. You probably have more cash in your bank account than Elon Musk. And say, oh, they should pay taxes. They don't have any money. They don't make any money. How are they going to pay taxes? It's all on paper. Okay? He has $1 billion in stock. If he sells it, then he has to pay taxes, which he did a while ago, a year ago, whatever. He paid huge amount in taxes, which is why he bought Twitter, to offset that. Okay? Rich people don't do things because they're stupid. Rich people do things because their tax lawyers tell them to do it. Okay, come on, all right? He lost $25 billion taking Twitter private. You think that that's, a smart move? Yeah, it is, when his other companies are making billions of dollars. And he can roll that over for the next 5 years. So don't get it wrong. He's so smart guy. So why should you get out of the West? Well, because it's not going to benefit you unless you are wealthy, unless you're financially independent, unless you're debt-free, unless you've got strong family ties and responsibilities. Get out of the West. Take the money you have and invest it in a developing nation. Yeah, so what? We don't have steak here. So what? We don't have roads. We've got great hospitals, which is what you want. We got stable economy. We got safe streets for the most part. We've got a reliable government and infrastructure for the most part. But are you willing to spend 80% more to live in a country that has electricity 24 hours a day and internet 24 hours a day? Come on. The reality is, if you're not changing something that is causing you stress, you're choosing that stress. Listen to what I just said. If you're not changing the things that are causing you stress and causing you grief, and causing you drama, you're choosing that stress, that you're choosing that drama, you're choosing that grief. Okay? You're choosing it. Mark my words. It's a fact. We are very, very scared to take that first step. I am so proud. I'm sorry, I cannot remember ET255 or 522. I cannot remember your name. I think you are my friend from the UK. You're now in the Philippines. You took that first step, brother. And let me tell you something. I'm so proud of you. Okay, I saw your post on my comments that you moved to the Philippines. I'm so happy. Congratulations. You know, I think it was you. I'm sorry, my memory's so bad. I should write these things down. But either it was you or it was somebody else who I have consulted with before, who I've talked to before, who has said, you know, I want to make a change. I want to get out of this stress. And they took that first step. That first step is always the hardest one. I've done it 3 times. I left Canada for Korea. I left Korea for Sri Lanka. And now I'm in the steps of getting out of Sri Lanka and traveling in Thailand and Philippines. Okay, I'm getting ready for the end. So, that being said, what should you do? You should follow my advice. And the advice of everyone is get debt free. You get debt free, that solves 90% of your problems. Okay? If you're debt free, you don't have to worry about your job. You don't get trapped in that job. Like, oh, I can't quit because if I quit, I lose my money. And if I lose my money, I can't pay my bills. Well, if you have 6 months worth of cash in the bank to pay your bills, then you don't have to worry. You can tell them to. Right? Oh, can you stay a little bit late? Oh, the meeting's going to run a little bit late. 15 minutes. Can you stay a little bit? Can you come in a little bit early? We have some extra work. Oh, listen, we're going to need to work on Saturday to complete this report. Okay, it's a team thing, you know. Oh, you know, we had to let somebody go, but we don't have it in the budget to hire somebody else. Can you take on this extra workload? Yeah, you know, you're going to have to work extra to take on the workload. It's a team thing. Everybody's, you know. Yeah. But the first thing that happens when the company has to cut people, they cut you. It's not a team, it's not a family, it's goodbye. You know? So don't fall in that trap. Okay? Don't fall in that trap. Get out of debt. Stop spending your money. Sacrifice for a year or 2. Seriously, sacrifice your life for 1 year, 2 years in your 20s and save up a crap ton of money. And you can retire. Lady Sarah did it right. Listen to me. This girl came in at 22 and she sets herself a target at 30. I want X amount of dollars. She hit that target at 27. She doubled that target. Okay, and at 32 she hit it. In 10 years, she has saved enough money to retire. 32, and she owns her condo in downtown Gangnam at Gangnam Station, one of the most expensive places in Korea. Okay, somebody's selling something. I don't know what he's selling, fish or something like that. I don't know. So if she sacrificed 10 years, right? And 32 is a young age to retire. But if you want to, she has now another 50 years to live off of that money. Most people work for 40 years and then suffer through the last 20 years of their life, right? Because they're too old to do anything. Now she's young enough to travel the world with me, which is what we're going to do. 2025, we've got 5 trips booked. Okay? 5. So, you know, I'm at the point where I could travel anytime I want, but I choose to wait for her because I prefer traveling with a friend. I don't want to go by myself. It's boring when I go by myself. I just sit around and I do what I do here, but I do it on a beach. I mean, my experience in Philippines just shows that. I was there for 6 months. I did nothing because there was no one there. Tim couldn't go anywhere because he had hurt himself, so he couldn't go anywhere. He had a girlfriend. Girls there I wasn't really interested in. They were all crazy. But I met some nice people. I met some good people, but I wasn't interested in doing what they were doing. Well, actually, I did meet some really great people, but yeah, it just never connected properly. Yeah, I guess that's true. But you know, if I go to someplace like Thailand or Phuket or Bali or wherever I like to go to the beach town, I want to go with someone who's I'm going to be able to go on adventures with, which is what I like to do, right? So I'm going to wrap it up by telling you this. Why should you get out of the West? It's because if you are not an like you're not making huge amounts of money, you're not going to be successful. You're going to be working for 40 years and you're always going to be under that yoke. If you're a middle class and you can put money in the bank, okay, you can get out and live a luxury lifestyle by the time you're 35. Absolutely. Absolutely. Now, I've done it and it took me only 5 years, right? But that's because I moved from South Korea to here, where my expenses are lower, right? And I'm making a high salary. So every penny of that goes to savings. Stock market, I just got paid out dividends. Some old crypto I had that's been sitting for 5 years, got paid out. Savings accounts got paid out, okay? I'm gonna buy gold. So, you know, these are the things you gotta do. You gotta pay yourself first. You gotta get that money for the later, not for now. Handbags, the clothes, the vacations, the cars, get rid of that crap. Guys, I'm gonna wrap it up right now. Please comment below, let me know what you think, any questions you have. Get out of the West. Save your money, save your stress, and live life. Remember, learn to live life, don't let life live you. I'm Sri Lankan Sammy, retired with Mom and Dad. See you all on the other side.